Good afternoon, South Africa. Welcome to Afternoon Express, live on SABC3, where the stage is yours. On today's show, we take an opportunity to celebrate and reflect on the achievements of two incredible women, since it's still Women's Month, and the important roles that they are playing in their society and communities. We meet Indlovukazi Mapule, who is a radio personality on Inanda FM, a philanthropist and pastor.
Plus, we chat to Nonnie Tenge, aka She Be Stinging, who is South Africa's leading female boxer. She has won an IBF World Championship 3 times in a row, and she'll be defending her title in Las Vegas just next year.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
That's wild.
Power woman.
It's wild. So later on in the show, we revisit a conversation that we started last week on last week's edition of Mommy Mondays with clinical psychologist Jeanine Beaukes on the effects of postnatal depression. We got an overwhelming response from the audience just saying, whoa, I mean, I felt like this, or I didn't know what this meant, and I recognize these symptoms that you're talking about. So we're very happy to be bringing that conversation back to the loft. You can contribute to our hashtag Mommy Mondays discussion by telling us any experiences that you've had or friends that have had it with postnatal depression and how you overcame it and dealt with it. So tweet us at Afternoon Chat using the hashtag Afternoon Express, or you can just log on to our Facebook page and leave us a comment.
Indlovukazi Mapule left her teaching career to pursue radio career on Inanda FM, one of Durban's biggest community radio stations. She has become a community leader in her own right and is passionate about uplifting the youth and her community.
Absolutely.
Very important.
Yeah. I mean, she has many talents, but amongst the hats that she wears, she's also started an LGBTQI educational online magazine to educate parents, patriarchs, and religious communities on embracing diversity and uniqueness.
In the words of Maya Angelou, Indlovukazi Mapule is the quintessential phenomenal woman. Besides hosting a radio show, she's also the founder of Indlovukazi, right? Yes, Tenge Indlovukazi, which is a skills development and emotional support group for women. Her passion for uplifting the youth is proof that it truly does take a village to raise a child, and she is doing it one school at a time.
Yeah. Esigodlweni. Yes, Queen's Palace.
Yes, I wanted to get that right.
Ngumzulu wena ngithi.
Ngumzulu kodwa umzulu oye public school
private school, umzulu wase private school.
Not proud.
Welcome to the loft. Lovely to have you with us.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here and excited.
So your story is, sorry my darling, is a phenomenal story. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know where to begin, but what the words that really stand out for me is just persistence, resilience, reinvention. You're just the queen of reinvention.
Yes.
But just take us through your childhood. What was your childhood like?
Very interesting. I would say I was born out of wedlock, that's number one. And I was raised by my mom. And I didn't know my father at the time. And I always say, when you talk of Mapule as a child, I had those difficulties of not staying with my mother because she was working in Johannesburg, and as well as I had to find other ways of doing things. You know, I had friends, I had neighbors who would call me, and I experienced a sexual rape at the time, and I was still young in primary, and there was a lot that was happening at the time. But lucky for me, my sister took me in. She was married at the time, and she took me in, and that was the start of greater things and hope for life and security. I was very safe with her. Yeah.
And you're all about raising the woman up and celebrating her. But you did change your name in the journey of discovering yourself from Mapule to Indlovukazi.
Okay, I didn't change it per se, but it goes together. I am the queen, so it's a title. And the time I was adopting this title, it was because I was taking full responsibility. Because at the time I was working as a community radio presenter, and I would see when I talk to people, they had this faith in me. They will ask me questions, and I would pray for them sometimes. You know, even before I was a pastor, I had this thing that, honestly, if we can have this faith and know God and know ourselves, something can happen. So that's when it all started. Everyone had, all the time when I was speaking, they said, oh my goodness, when I hear your voice, you know, I just, you know, have that thing that everything is going to be okay. So I called myself Umama Wesizwe. So that's the queen. Yeah. And besides that, I'm of a royal house. My grandmother is a princess. I don't know whether, I can't say it in English per se, but I would say she's from the Kwakiaza royal household. Wow. So Kwakiaza she's from umntwana uqeda icala. And umntwana uqeda icala uzalwa umntwana udabula amanzi wesilo sakanodwengu umpande. So I'm from that house.
Lineage.
You know, so the royal blood is right
so
in me.
So sihleli ngendlovukazi ngempela. True sense.
Yeah, nihleli the princess, but through blood and as well as responsibility for a community. Then I am the queen because I have to take care. There's so many.
Mother.
Yeah, exactly like that, because there's so much to do in the community.
I mean, you're very strong and you're very resilient, but you also have experienced a lot of loss in your life. People,
yes.
A lot of people close to you have passed on. What have you learned from that journey of like that consistent loss? I mean, obviously it's been sad and you've had to mourn, but what has it taught you?
That there are things that honestly you cannot change. I've always said, you know, this prayer that said, God grants me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. So it has taught me that. And when the first one passed away, my late husband passed away, it was sort of like he was like my pillar. So I learned at the time to lean on God than my family, because at some point they will pass on, and honestly I have to move on with life.
And you needed that constant support in the spiritual.
Yes, yes. I'm more of a spiritual person than a religious person. Okay. Yeah, because honestly that has helped me a lot. And the same lead with this, because if I take the lane of being religious, sometimes you know, there are things that I can't say, but honestly it's not comfortable with me because there are restrictions in the religious
things you don't quite
side.
Understand, or you don't want to have to battle with your whole life. Yeah, I totally get that. You also refer to yourself as a spiritual practitioner.
Yeah, I am. I did Reiki, because I wanted to understand, honestly, the spiritual world. I'm still learning. There's so much that I'm learning on the spiritual world, because honestly, before everything else, before the books, before everything that was written for us, there was this person. It started with a human being.
The inner man,
Yes, and the person wrote all of these books that we are reading that are encouraging us to press on, to continue with life. So that's what I believe in. So I had to find me and find my interests and find my preferences, not honestly like doing by the book. The book says this and the book says this, and what about me?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do on earth? What's my purpose? What am I here for?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're going to unpack all of that when we return, because you're not leaving. You're with us for another segment after this. And after the break, we continue the conversation with Indlovukazi Mapule and her inspirational community work. Plus, later on, we meet South Africa's leading female boxer, Nonnie Tenge. Welcome back to Afternoon Express live on SABC3. We're back on the couch with Indlovukazi.
Yes. It's so nice to be here, yes.
You've touched on your refigured self, your reimagined self, your reconstructed self, because in the past it was very society-driven. You were told, living in a specific household, that this is what you need to do. But then you went on what I like to call an eat, pray, love journey of self-discovery. How was that for you?
It was a difficult one. Because when I think of myself, let me say when I think of myself, kufika lento ethi, I was raped, I was abused physically, emotionally. You know, there's nothing engakaze ngidlule kuyona in my life. If you call it pain, I've been through that. Now, when I had to sit down and really discover myself, it was something that was like real. I was frightened because you know, masuz thola ukuthi ubani kahle kahle your preferences, you know. Angikuthanda lollipop, ngithanda chocolate, you know. So all of those things, people would say, why uthande lokhu ungakuthandi lokhu? So I had that thing of really not sure whether I should like be me or continue with what the society wants,
prescribed,
you know, because honestly, everything is prescribed, and it's so painful to live in a prescribed world. It's so difficult. So when I discovered myself, I said, you know what, this is me. This is what I really like, and it gives me peace. And if I want to sleep at night, because honestly, during that journey, I wasn't sleeping. I was thinking, honestly, what's going to happen? What would people say? And I had to come to a point where I say, enough about people. Mapule, this is you now. Start your journey. Start whatever there is inside you. If it gives you peace, Mapule, then it is it.
And so be it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's absolutely incredible. So you also have a radio career that spans nine years now, and you're a host on Inanda FM.
Yes.
And tell us about the stuff you talk about on there. And I know you're very passionate about the LGBTQI community, and making sure that they have a voice and that people understand diversity.
Yeah, I don't believe this is me. I look beautiful here.
Stunning. I mean, and you still do, honey.
Really?
You still
Thank you so much.
Don't play yourself. You're gorgeous.
Thank you so much. Okay, I'm doing a women's magazine show, 9 to 12. And I'm co-hosting with my colleague Uxolani, and it's a very lovely show. Different things, health, LGBTI, embracing diversity and uniqueness on Tuesdays, and as well as feed yourself with knowledge. It's called in Zulu Zondle Ngolwazi. And then we have the religious programs on Thursdays, you know, Mama Bolwesine, and Fridays, it's old school music Friday. We bring back the old school music, you know, it's that type of thing. And then on a Sunday, I have a show that says Asilungiseni, because if we say Asilungiseni, we know that there's something, somewhere. So we have to pick up and check, research, and talk about issues that are like people do not want to talk about, and then make sure that we check our facts and make sure that we live the life that we really want to live, because some other things are missing in the books. You know, some other things are missing somewhere, and we have to really rediscover. Actually, I'm a very proud black woman. So I really want to know where I come from. I really want to know, before every book that was written for me, who am I?
And in re-establishing your uniqueness, you went on to marry an amazingly gorgeous wife. And apparently, I heard a little something that this wedding took 5 years to plan. Why 5 years?
Hey, we had to, you know, because of the society requirements and constraints. So we had to do a proper thing, just to show people that we are loved, we have a family, we have a lovely family that supports us, that doesn't care, honestly, what we really do. If it makes us happy, they are supporting us. So we really had to. We wanted this amazing fairy tale wedding, you know.
Which I'm sure it was. It looks like it was.
It's beautiful.
And actually, we wanted to go to Zanzibar, you know, for honeymoon and stuff like that. So honestly, you cannot do all of these things with
with a shoestring budget,
you know,
of course. You have to go above and
you can't like plan it now and do it now. So you have to plan it properly.
Yeah.
So that was the reason.
Your story is very phenomenal, and I mean, I wish we could talk to you all day, but I really love the freedom with which you live your life and the freedom that you've embraced, and most of all that you want to pass it on to other people. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for having me, and I so wish that every woman can really live their lives. Yes. It's about time that we stand up.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, happy Women's Month.
Yeah,
happy Women's Month.
Same to you guys.
And continue spreading that love, positivity, and openness to everyone around you.
I will.
Right, so stay right where you are, because when we're back, we're preparing a mouth-watering veggie-based risotto with Chef Clem.
I love risotto. I love risotto. Plus, we chat to clinical psychologist Jeanine Beaukes. In today's edition of Mommy Mondays, we're discussing postnatal depression. Have you experienced any baby blues? Do you know anyone who has? How did they deal with it? Remember to share your experiences and your stories with us by tweeting us at Afternoon Chat using the hashtag Afternoon Express, or pop over to Facebook and leave a comment on our page. We'll be right back.
Welcome back from the ad break. You're tuned into Afternoon Express, and I am not alone. I'm with my gorgeous buddy here, Baxter. Being new to the Afternoon Express family, I'm getting to know them a little bit more and more. Having no pets at home, I am thriving right now. Hey, Bax. So if you'd like to know a little more about our furry babies, you can be up to date with their on-screen and off-screen lives by following them on Instagram. Just search The Adventures of Donuts or The Adventures of Baxter for different angles of our furry families, Baxter and Donut.
They're cute, they're cuddly, and they're TV stars. Baxter and Donut, the adorably fluffy four-legged members of the Afternoon Express family, are sharing their daily adventures on social media. To see what Baxter and Donut get up to behind the scenes, follow The Adventures of Baxter and The Adventures of Donut on Instagram.
Now, something I've been dying to learn in the kitchen is a gorgeous, yummy risotto. Now, risotto is an Italian classic that we're giving a plant-based twist in today's Woolies recipe. Goletto Mutao is our green guide to the veggie spectacular, and we cannot wait to get stuck in. Now, Goletto, you're going to have to talk me through this very slowly, because I have been sent by Antoine, my auntie back at home, who wants to know how to make a risotto, and I don't want to get anything messed up. yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's take it slowly.
Okay.
So the thing with risotto is a labor of love. So you have to kind of take your time, work at it, toast your rice, make sure you get a nutty flavor. Okay. So what we're making today is a brown rice cauliflower risotto with coconut water, and it's going to be just beautiful. So what I've got here on the pan is just some leeks that I've sauteed in coconut oil. Okay. So we kind of, because we want that coconut flavor to carry through, we're starting with coconut oil.
So you kind of layer the flavors as you go.
Exactly. So what's happening here is just beautifully sauteing. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. You just want it to be soft and delicious and tender. Okay, so if you can pass me the organic brown rice from Woolies. So instead of using arborio or the normal white rice, we're using the Woolies brown rice. So this is obviously much healthier, but it also gives a very beautiful nutty flavor to your risotto. And just makes it extra juicy. Yeah.
I've always wondered, do we boil the rice first before we fry it? But I see you just plop it straight in there.
Yes, so you want your rice to be dry. The traditional way is obviously to add uncooked rice and toast it. You know, so you need to toast it to get that nutty flavor from the rice to release the deliciousness. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just giving it a quick toast, so it just, you know, so it's coated well in the oil, but it also releases its natural nutty flavors.
Nice. So my Afternoon Express family, remember, if you would like this recipe sent to you, all you have to do is SMS the keyword EAT to 33650, and this delicious recipe will be sent straight to your sent straight to your phones.
Okay, cool. So coconut water going in.
Nice.
And then you just allow that to simmer. Okay, you allow that to simmer.
Oh, yum, it smells so delicious.
So yeah, you allow that to simmer. You see I added a little bit now, so you let that cook through, let that absorb, and then you add more a bit later.
Why are we going for coconut water and not the conventional coconut milk?
So, I mean, this is a brilliant way because it's going to be a light, if you want a lighter option, then you use coconut water. And what you'll see is when you're done cooking it, it goes a bit caramelly. So the coconut, the sugars in the coconut water caramelize and goes nutty and extra special. So if you want it to be creamier and richer, then you can obviously use coconut milk, and there's nothing wrong with that. Use the same quantities. So here,
I really want to find
this goes on, and then I'm just going to move this over, turn my stove off.
Cool. And the magic of TV.
The magic of TV, voila. This is what it looks like in the end.
Okay, perfect.
And so
incorporating the cauliflower.
So what I've done is use the Woolies harissa paste. Just toss that through. It's got enough oil in it. Put it in the oven until it's beautifully toasted. And I'm just gonna, you know, serve this family style.
Nice.
Add this on top.
Yum.
Not all of it, just to, like, you know, bulk it up. I've got some peanuts, just roughly chopped up.
Just as a topping.
Just as a topping, gives a beautiful texture. I mean, your rice as well, you don't cook it to a mush. You want it to be nutty and, you know, delicious. And then,
still have that substance.
Yeah, and then for more coconut flavor, desiccated coconut, just lightly toast it, and then I add that on top. Perfect. And then just for a bit of freshness, if you can pass me a bit of lime there.
Here we go.
Just one.
Oh, just one lime?
Yeah, and then just, ooh.
And not do that,
but I'm a bit too strong because I eat too much veggies, all my plant-based eating.
Yeah, noted.
So just a fresh zesting of lime, and voila, serve this on the table, family style, and it's absolutely delicious.
Absolutely, love it. Thank you so much for talking me through that. Remember, guys, if you want this delicious recipe, SMS the keyword EAT to 33650, and this recipe will be coming to you. Bonnie, I'm dying to hear more about the Mommy Mondays.
Absolutely. So last week we started the conversation on postnatal depression, and because we received such a great response from you, we have clinical psychologist Jeanine Beaukes back to extend the conversation further with us. The effects of postnatal depression, if untreated, have dire consequences both for babies and mothers. Welcome back, Jeanine. Lovely to have you with us.
Thank you, and wonderful to be coming back, and thank you.
Yes, absolutely. It seems we've opened up a Pandora's box, but all for the right reasons. And last week we spoke a lot more about the effects of postnatal depression on the mother and how it manifests itself. But what are the effects of it on the baby?
Right. So with postnatal depression, obviously mum is suffering, mum is in pain, she's overwhelmed, she's anxious, she's miserable, she feels completely out of control. Baby senses all of that. And the most important thing is that baby feels unsafe. So when baby turns to mum and gazes at mum, mum's face tends to be almost stone-like or blank. And he's unable to elicit a response from mum because mum is pretty miserable and holding herself together. So she might be able to feed him, change him, keep him clean.
Do the bare minimum.
Well, and even do a lot because
Right.
she's anxious, but she can't relate to him. And she hasn't any joy in him. The delight in the baby is gone. That's something that depression steals from her.
Wow.
And because of when the baby feels mum not taking any delight in him or in her, baby registers that this is a very unsafe place. And then changes start happening to in baby's brain. The cortisol levels rise and he starts not thriving.
And so it becomes like a stress factor in his life, right? Oof. So how can moms... Okay, so before I ask you that question, there's a difference between postpartum psychosis and postpartum depression.
Right.
What are the differences?
People tend to separate them. I like to see them together because any form of postnatal depression can border on a psychosis, because psychosis is when the mum is unable to see things in a reality-based form. Not being able to take any delight in your baby, feeling utterly of no value, that life is no value and that she has nothing to offer, is psychotic, is untrue in and of itself. So postnatal depression always tends toward the psychotic, toward the slightly mad. But it's a temporary madness which can be treated and can be reversed, and a mum and baby can be restored.
That's incredible. I mean, that's the good news. And I find that a big barrier to people getting help actually is that people don't actually believe therapy works. They actually think to themselves, how can something that feels so big and so destructive, I feel so broken, how can speaking to somebody else help me? I mean, what could that do? But you're saying there is treatment, and what kind of treatments are out there and available?
Well, the first people that have to blow the whistle are the ones closest to mum, and that would be dad or granny or caring women in the community who need to pick up that mum's not doing well. And then blow the whistle and say, we need to get you help, we need to support you more, but we need to get more people on board to bring you back to your former self.
Absolutely.
So the earlier the better, and it's not a shame and it's no blame, it's just I want to help you to be the best mum you can be.
The best version of a parent
of yourself,
you want to be.
That you desperately want to be. So often postnatal...
We have a caller on the line, excuse me. Buikanyo. Welcome to Afternoon Express. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. And you?
I'm good, thank you. What's your question or comment?
I've raised many kids before, but they weren't mine. Now that I have my own, I had a difficult, I gave birth difficultly. And we spent a little bit of time apart, my son and I. But I feel like I can't be with him. And I don't feel what I feel for my nieces and nephews. I just can't deal with him. I feel like he needs to be far away from me at all times. Well, I don't know. I don't feel like I love him. I know I do love him. I just don't want to be around him, and it's scaring me because I will literally leave the house and be outside just to, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, thank you so much, Bukanyo, for your call. I can tell that was a very difficult thing to share with us. We really appreciate it. And
very brave.
Could you address that?
It was
I mean,
really
it sounds
brave.
so heartbreaking.
Because we long for our children, we long for our babies, go through a difficult time, and they are eagerly anticipated. Often when a baby comes, your baby somewhat isn't exactly what you expected. Not exactly what you were ready for, and the baby that arrives is a slight mismatch, and it's very hard to find her or him, and that's when things start going wrong. Your niece and your nephew, you may be connected or clicked with them more easily. Don't give up. You're just going to have to keep looking and finding a way of connecting with your son, and then the joy will come. I often say it's not from trying hard, it's from getting the help, allowing yourself to be supported and loved and nurtured back to health, and the delight will come. You will find yourself falling in love with your baby all over again.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Buganya, and I really hope that they get the help that they need. And after the break, we meet boxing star Nonnie Tenge, who is considered to be one of the best female boxing stars in the country. And just to remind you, the helpline for anybody who's struggling with postpartum depression is on the screen, and you can also get more information on our website.
Clover fruits of the forest, creamy and fruity.
Made with love by Clover.
Welcome back from the ad break. This is Afternoon Express. Now, this is one of my favorite segments. Time to get into something sweet. What would be a guaranteed cure for the Monday blues? Well, some would say chocolate is always the answer. You do not want to miss out on this fruity version of a chocolate brownie made with the fruitiness of clover fruits of the forest. To get your hands on this delicious recipe, SMS the keyword clover to 33650. SMSs cost R1.50 each, and no free SMSs apply. Mr. Clem.
So you know how you get like strawberries and you get all romantic and
Yes.
you dip them in the chocolate?
Yes, and the whipped cream.
Oh, okay. And you know like cherries and chocolate were like best friends, you know that?
From day one.
From day one. So
Yeah.
the idea is that we're taking that idea, the perfect food pairing, putting it in a brownie.
Love that.
It's
I've
so good.
never thought of adding fruit to my brownie. I mean, we always have those Christmas cakes. That is
Yes.
the sweet and the savory, but still, this is a new take.
It is, absolutely.
Love.
Goodness of chocolate as well with the berries. And then dairy, of course, in our yogurt. Let's get started. This is possibly the easiest brownie recipe you'll ever make. And you can see how dense that is. That is crazy dense.
Sponge, can't wait.
Sponge, there we go.
Yes.
Brown sugar, flour, and good quality cocoa. Spend the money on the good stuff, okay?
And it's worth it.
There's a difference, really. So then in this bar, I need your help. I got some coconut milk and I've got some yogurt. I'm gonna help you out with
some of
this.
Clover fruits of the forest.
You can go with, that's all of it. Okay. And then you can go with, we're using the mixed berry one. There we go.
Of course, because this is a berry chocolate brownie. Does it matter how much I put in?
No, I say you can kind of use half of the tub.
Oh, that's quite a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can play around with the ratios to get that nice fudgy texture. Obviously, if you had more dry ingredients, you can end up with a more cakey brownie. We want a very moist brownie.
Yeah.
Like a fudgy brownie.
A fudgy brownie.
Yeah. Put this back here for you.
It's really smelling so good.
You can get that a mix along.
Okay, cool.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just stand here and watch you, I suppose. No.
Love your work, Clem.
There we go.
Love your work.
Ingo, some butter.
Nice.
And then to my flour mixture over here, I'm going to add some baking powder.
Okay.
That goes in.
Perfect.
Then,
does it matter if your berries, I feel these are frozen.
Those are frozen. Not at all. Because you don't get berries fresh all year round. So the idea is that if you want to make this, you don't have any fresh berries, go for frozen.
Okay, perfect.
Absolutely, all the time. Now, I'm happy. Can you swap? You can take that and take this.
Okay.
Let's go. Let's become one.
Let's do this. 1, 2.
Okay, let's start with half the bowl first.
Half the bowl, okay. What I also love about this fruits of the forest is it's got 10 vitamins. So it's quite nutritious for you. So you're kind of cheating with having something sweet, but you're also, taking care of yourself in the meantime.
It's the goodness of fruit, exactly. You can go with some more. Also, it's a great way to get your kids eating their fruits and vegetables because if you can hide it in there,
you're all about hiding that goodness.
There we go. Okay. Yes. So use all of that. That's perfect.
Perfect.
Can I get that tin that's next to you?
Yes.
And literally, so you can kind of count ingredients. It's like under 10 to make the perfect brownie. Nice. This batter you can also keep, you can freeze it just like this. Keep it in the freezer and then thaw it out when you're ready.
Okay.
But also, you can kind of gift someone with it. Why do people not gift enough food, We need to share the food.
I always say that, the saying is a way to a man's heart is through his stomach. The way to my heart is definitely through my stomach. If you feed me well, everything else will go well.
Here we go. All right, happiness, this is the guy. So what you can do is you can either dot the fruits in there for like a little bit of extra berry flavor, or you could mix it in. But I think this is kind of cool, just kind of like speckled all over your brownie.
And just block it in.
So as it bakes, the sugars that's in the berries kind of like caramelize as well. I know I threw a berry at you right now. I know I did.
I was like, what is that?
That was me.
Clem, you're starting a food fight that you can't finish.
Let's not. The last time that happened, it was no. Okay,
Game on.
So here we go. This guy goes into the oven. Look how awesome they are.
They look
and that
so
is a
good.
dense brownie.
That is a very dense brownie. And I love the little garnish of the strawberry on top, just to continue to push the theme. Health, health, health first. So, if you guys want to get this gorgeous recipe, of this fruity brownie, SMS Clover to 33650. And in case you missed any of these details, here's a quick recap.
Made with love by Clover.
Welcome back. So Nonnie Tenge, also known as She Be Stinging, packs a mean punch in the boxing ring. Coming from a family of boxers, she's been the only one to do it professionally and will be defending her IBF World Championship title in Las Vegas next year, which is why she's considered the best in the ring.
And joined by her is her manager, Winston Wilson, Nonnie Tenge. Welcome, guys.
Oh,
I've been waiting for this interview since I found out we're having you in the couch because you are a superstar.
Wow.
You are right up there with the world's greatest, undefeated 5 times.
I wish the youngsters of South Africa can see the work I'm doing. Amen. It is so hard. You need to be passionate. You need to commit yourself. You need to focus. You must be hard worker at the same time. Happy Women's Month, ladies.
Happy Women's Month to a powerful woman.
Yeah. What made you fall in love with boxing?
The reason why I fell in love with boxing, I grew up in a sport family, but I didn't realize that I've got a passion for boxing. I was a netball player.
Wow.
I was running at a younger age. I got a border certificate when I was 12 years of age. I didn't know that I can be a world champion today, but because of passion, of my hard work, of focus and commitment, since our former president, Thabo Mbeki, gave us a chance to expose ourselves that women can do boxing, I was the one of the 5 ladies in South Africa, and I'm still in there, and I'm holding 5 world titles at the moment.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Winston, you are Nonnie's manager. What is it about her boxing style and her work that makes her so unique?
I think with Nonnie is also her pure commitment. I've never come across someone so involved in the sport, so dedicated to the sport. She sends me pictures of her dinner at night. She tells me when she's going to sleep. She tells me when she's doing things I don't even know.
Yeah.
But as her conditioning coach, as her management, I need to know all these things to keep her in top flight. She is one of the best in the world at the moment, and that's something we need to keep up to that standard.
Amen.
That's amazing.
That is, and coming from PE, and now you find yourself on a world stage about to defend your title next year in Las Vegas.
Yes.
What are your thoughts?
Everything is just everything. I think God is answering my prayers after a long time. I don't want to lie to you guys. I've been in this industry for more than 15 years. If you can see my belts, they're worth millions, but I've got nothing. But because of the new management now, I'm called a new sponsorship from Puma. I'm wearing Puma. Yay. If you can see me, I'm wearing Puma.
Go Puma!
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that they
my
saw
former
your
boss,
potential.
because I was an anti-poaching ranger in Dakota operations, and then my boss is Nikki Erasmus Rassi. I think he's watching this show.
Hey.
Hopefully, I wish Rassi you can see me because I'm speaking about you. You've been so kind. You've been so good to me because the kind of work I was doing was so hectic. The hours were so hectic. Then I had a call that no, you need to defend your title. Then I cancelled the first defense. Then again, you need to defend your second your title. Then I cancelled the second defense. Now he decided to come to Winston. Winston, he's got everything. He's a scientist when it comes to boxing sport, and I'm training in his gym. He's the manager in his gym. It's a world-class sport. It's a world-class gym. It's one of the top in the world.
Wow.
So now I'm coming from the traditional boxing skills. Now I'm joining the scientific part of boxing.
That's amazing.
Because to tell you the truth, guys, it's a second term of my career. Because I'm in 2 to 3 years to come, I'll have to quit. But now he's pushing because ever since my manager decided to speak with him, and then he said, Nonnie, every time you need to come to the gym, this is your home. That's where you're born. You were born like you are a boxer, you are a fighter, you are standing on behalf of women of South Africa. You need to do this. Because of my previous work, I was an anti-poaching ranger, as I said. I was struggling to go to the gym. Time of work was so hectic. I have to work for more than 14 to 15 hours. Then he realized that, Nonnie, come to me.
Yes.
Without him, without Rassi, I don't want to lie, guys. But because of them,
absolutely.
Now I've got the last shot of my defense. I need to defend my title at the end of March by next day. It's only 6 months left. And now he's pushing. And I promise you I'll be successful because everything is there. It's like, that's what I needed.
Amen.
That's what I needed. The edge gym, holding 5 world titles, and you've got nothing, just imagine. And I think you have to know this. And the young kids of South Africa are watching, they know for sure. It's not because I need money. It's not about money. It's not about getting wealthy. It's not about getting rich. Every person must respect you because you've got money. It's not about, it's the love of the game. I love the game, and I'm doing it on behalf of women of South Africa because we need to commit to ourselves. We need to stand up to show the world that we can do this. Together, we can do this, guys.
And us as the women of South Africa are extremely proud of you. But how do you make sure that this machine is conditioned and in tip-top fighting shape?
It honestly takes a lot of work. And like Nonnie's mentioned, she comes from a very traditional way of training, where it's not so much of a scientific angle, but more just the hard work. So now, obviously, Nonnie's getting on with her age, we need to adapt. Yeah. So we're bringing a way more scientific approach, splitting up her regiments, and I mean, she trains 3 times a day. It's conditioning, it's fitness, it's boxing. So every day...
And discipline.
You won't find someone more humble or disciplined as Nonnie. And that's why she is one of the best in the world, because she commits 150% to no matter what she does.
Wow, that's amazing, yeah. Girl. Imagine going to gym 3 times a day.
I'm struggling with once a day for 30 minutes.
Nah, I can't.
You need to adjust, guys. you need to adjust. No chocolate's the worst thing, because he's always fighting with me.
What do you eat? Protein?
No chocolate.
Do you eat a lot of protein?
No, a lot of protein. And then said, not too much carbs, Nonnie. And I like chocolate. I like sweet.
And you like carbs.
I like
bread.
The pasta.
You know, almost when it comes to songa, you know, the African girls song, pasta. You want papa and nyama, papa and fleece. I said, no. Because the only thing that will make us to be successful, because my last defense was not good, because I had to lose too much weight in a short period of time. Yeah. But now, at least he makes sure that every day, I will make sure that I'm checking your weight. Even if I'm not there in the gym, but make it a point, but by Friday, after you go home, I will have to check your weight. At least 5 days a week, I have to check. After 5 days, I have to check your weight. Yeah. Because normally, I train 7 days a week. Monday to Sunday.
That's amazing. Yeah. Nonnie, you know what really stands out for me about your career is that you're a world-class boxer. Not many people in South Africa know about you. The right people know about you, but you haven't received the accolades and the adoration and the wealth that should have come with your achievements, right? But I really believe you're on the verge of something really great, and you're going to go into the next part of your career and do amazing things. For anyone sitting at home watching who feels that way about their lives, like, I've put in so much work and nothing is coming for me, nothing is happening, I might as well give up. What would you say to them?
Imagine coming from the traditional background, because everything was about traditional.
So I want this to really hit home. Do you mind looking at the camera and just giving your message directly to those young girls sitting out there?
The science part is a new thing, I don't want to lie. But the only thing I want to tell you guys, if you want to do it, you can do it. Whatever situation, whatever you struggle, because the reason why I'm here because I wanted to show the world that I can do this, even if I'm coming from the disadvantaged background, because I'm there. My mom is not there, my dad is not there. They passed away a long time ago. But I believe I've got with them, because at least now my surname is on top of the world. So if you are passionate about it, it's not about boxing by itself. If you want to do the music, if you want to play soccer, any kind of activity you want to be involved, go and try it. Maybe God is listening to your prayers. You will make it at the end of the day. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much, Nonnie. You're so passionate about what you do. It's really heartwarming. And thank you so much, Winston.
Thank you very much.
Love it. Join us after the break as we speak more to our incredible guest and we hear their secrets to a successful career. Stay tuned.
Clover fruits of the forest, creamy and fruity.
Made with love by Clover.
Our guests on Afternoon Express fly domestically with Mango. Enjoy outstanding service, online check-in and seat selection. With the widest booking and payment options, Mango is the only airline globally to accept store charge cards as a means of payment. Fly in comfort with ergonomically efficient seats for more legroom aboard a fleet of new generation Boeing 737-800 aircraft. Join the guests of Afternoon Express and fly Mango.
Welcome back from the ad break. You're tuned into Afternoon Express on SABC3, where the stage is yours. And we are sitting with incredible, phenomenal women, powerful women, encouraging women.
Yeah.
I'm just so moved right now. And before the ad break, we were all in tears because of your amazing story. And thank you so much for inspiring the youth continuously in everything you do. But you are not alone. Mam Indlovukazi, you too are very much about bringing up the child, and as we said in the intro, one school at a time. Speak to us about your philanthropic side.
Okay, that part is something that is very close to my heart, and in the balegile towards is ubona a child, what you said, uyena aitate and move on with it, and as well as we deal with parents as well as other queens, because I always say every woman is a queen. Just that we have different things to offer.
Yes.
So we are all queens. We have to push and make sure that we as parents, we teach our children to do the right things all the time.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful
Are these some of the girls you work with?
Yes, some of the girls I work with, to the schools I go to every year. Every year I go to schools, beginning of the year. This is the prayer, 3Q prayer that we normally have in February. Last week of February, we normally have these prayers and handouts, uniforms. I'm mentoring these girls outside my children, so there's so much work that I do. Even on the 31st, we are having a huge gathering of women.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you know, one thing I want to ask you, and I think this happens a lot to people, especially people who've had a hard upbringing or come from a disadvantaged background. No matter where they are in life, whatever talents they have, no matter how amazing they are, they can't seem to let go of their idea of their past. You know, it's almost like there needs to be a healing of how they see where they come from. Can you relate to that?
Yeah, it's like you know, kids for today. It's like everything is about drugs. Ne? The drugs were there before. Everything was there before. It's sad that the parents of today, they've got a big role to play. You understand? Even in our foundation, we know that those things were there. But you know for sure, if your parents brought you up with a good foundation, you will never go wrong. You understand? The parents have to play a big role to their kids, because to decide in life, it's not easy by yourself. You'll find out your mom and father and your mom and dad is fighting together in the house. They are fighting more especially on weekends. Then you see yourself feel like you don't have your hope. You don't have a hope because mom and dad is the role model for you as a child. You understand? So if mom and dad is beating mom in the house, it's like we are losing hope already.
Yeah.
Those things were there even before us. As I told you guys that I'm coming from a disadvantaged background. My dad was drinking 24/7. You understand? Wow. And then mom has to wake up to prepare the food for dad. But I knew for the fact that I'm here for a purpose.
Yeah.
If you can put it in your heart like that way, if each and every one of us, we are here for a purpose. Yes. As Mapule said, we are singing the same song, but in different ways. Yeah. You understand? Yeah. She's doing her own thing, I'm doing my own. We are singing the same. We are all united. You understand? We're all united. It's like, at least our parents need to, the parents of today, they need, because it's like, everything is about drugs, drinking. It's not supposed to be like that, because the future is in those youngsters of South Africa.
Yeah, and I say, because it didn't kill me at the time, so it won't kill me now. I have to press on. I survived, and I am a survivor. Just because I survived, I am a survivor.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
The second kid can survive, the other one can survive, and then the next one can survive. All of us, we've got our own story to tell.
Yeah.
Every one of us have got our own story to tell, but you need to be strong for you. You need to show the world that you can do better than others.
Yeah.
That's what I'm always saying to the youngsters. You must stand up and do your own thing. As long as it is positive, God will be there to help you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, ladies, thank you so much for inspiring us. There hasn't been a dry eye in the loft today.
Yeah.
And
And thank you so much for touching on such a crucial Mommy Monday issue.
Yes.
I really appreciate it. We keep learning. So join us for tomorrow's cook-along as we make a sweet pot chili, and actor Clint and his wife, former Miss Namibia, Steffi Brink. Definitely should be a good one.
See you tomorrow. Yeah, same time, same place. Happy eating and happy good night. Happy good night.
Afternoon Express, made with love by Clover.
Nada. Feel Good production.